quarantine birthday turn out to be a great birthday? Spoilers. Yeah. Historically, I've not been a huge fan of birthdays, but for 2020, I really got it in my mind that this was going to be a big birthday year. And then quarantine happened. Was there a way I could celebrate with other people? Could this quarantine birthday be a way for me to collaborate and get back into making YouTube videos? Also, support local businesses. When I started hearing about local businesses doing unique things with social distancing practices was Archie McPhee, a novelty store with a very novel outlook on life and joy. Archie McPhee actually gave away tickets at one point to go see the Terracotta Soldiers, the Pacific Science Center. So I had them put together a grab bag with no instructions aside from the fact that it was my birthday. They were doing drop-off, drive up on your birthday, park your car, presents put in the trunk. Archie McPhee people coming in there, putting things in the trunk, and there's no person-to-person contact. I don't know what's gonna be in the trunk. They actually gave me two bags. A giant bag with a question mark on it, and then this one. Bigfoot has been in the news in the Pacific Northwest, primarily because of being ideal at social distancing, because you don't run into him very often. Be like Bigfoot. Practice safe social distancing. Some artist facial hair. I'll actually probably end up using this on like TikTok if I do something rather dramatic here on YouTube. This is actually a stand-up of Shakespeare, and it came with a bunch of phrases, various like dress-up clothes, and you put a fedora on him if you so choose. It says mirth and laughter on your day of merriment. That's the one I chose for this birthday video. Way back when I got my car, one of the goals was to have it be kind of a mobile relaxation space, a place to park, and then have a nice read, listen to, you know, Taylor Swift, whatever needs to happen. I also got this bobble-headed Beethoven that I thought would be really fun to keep in the car. One of the other things that was in this grab bag was a giant car-sized magnet of a mustache. So I put this giant mustache on the fridge, and then Mika saw it and she was in love. She checks it out all the time. Maybe Mika thinks she might be interested in having a mustache. She's gonna grow up to be an artist. There were a whole bunch of other things. Plastic Ziploc bags that had little kiss marks, aluminum foil that had pictures of meat, a bacon necklace. What doesn't happen in this video? All kinds of just really interesting and strange things, and I opened them up on an Instagram story. Super fun time. I found a zine I'd never heard about in Seattle. It is called Lady, a zine for female entrepreneurs, so like perfect fit. They chose local business women and they put together products for self-care. What a fun birthday moment to learn about a lot of brands I hadn't known about before that are local to the area, that are women-run businesses, to find out what they were about on my birthday. There was specialty chocolate in this bag, hand-painted macarons, this lavender rosemary whipped moisturizing cream. It's really been helping me have smooth dreams no matter how chaotic things get in the world around us. This protective mask sort of matches my penguin hat. There's this little tiny card and it says happy quarantine birthday. Threw in some extra stickers for ya. Way to know me without even knowing me yet. Look, it's like Mika in a 1980s children's book. I found out at the beginning of May that Bop Street Records, quoted by the Wall Street Journal as being one of the 5 best music stores in America, it was going to be closing because it couldn't stay open through the quarantine. This is a major loss to the city's music scene. Super sad because it sounded like they were gonna have to send their entire like vinyl collection, almost 500,000 records, to like thrift stores. So there was concern about whether these beautiful and important pieces of music history were never going to find homes that appreciated them. Bop Street Records is also really important to me personally. When I started doing social media projects, it's actually for a project I'm still doing about the record company my father ran. And part of learning about that history involved me learning about vinyl. One of the people I ended up talking to about this was Dave Voorhees, the owner of Bop Street Records. They were giving away pieces of Bop Street, curated sets of discs. I found out after I purchased these albums and after my birthday, there was this little piece of incredibly amazing internet-based silver lining. It's a nonprofit library called the Internet Archive. They actually got a hold of all like 500,000 pieces of vinyl. I guess all the ones that were left ended up going to this organization. Their plan right now is to scan all of that music and provide it to the internet for free. Maybe there's a chance we're all going to learn a little bit more about vinyl as a result of all of this. It's really nice to have little bits of Seattle's music history in my bones, and I really appreciate all that the Bop Street music team has done for me over the years, and it's really wonderful to have a part of Seattle's like music legacy in my home. Speaking of my father and his record company, this is the CD for the Wildcat Records story, which contains a bunch of the music from the record company my father ran in San Antonio, Texas. Very rare. It was even printed in limited edition. It's more clues as to the music that is kind of part of where I come from, and how interesting that it would end up happening during the same time as this Bop Street Records situation. There was one birthday present that did not go very well, at least not in the beginning. So a couple days before my birthday, I was supposed to have my birthday present that I purchased for myself delivered. UPS told me it was delivered, and it hadn't been delivered to me, at least. There was this whole to-do about whether or not I was out a bunch of money because it had to do with film stuff, and I was super duper upset about this. In fact, I'd been really upset about it for a couple of days. During this one track outing where I was making very specific, focused social distancing purchases, I also decided to pick up lunch. I'm a little bit southern, so I miss my barbecue. I am a tourist, and I am also a boar in the Chinese zodiac, so I thought it would be fun to stop by the boar's nest and get birthday lunch of barbecue. So I've got my barbecue and I'm headed home. So I get back to my door, and there's this. It's one of these like I wasn't there slips. Is there a chance UPS found my package? It had seemed super grim when I talked to them about it before. So I ran to the place that they said they put the package, and lo and behold, it had been delivered. I was so ecstatic, and every single day since then I have been using that gear to make TikTok videos. The thing I wanted the most out of this birthday was to get back to the stuff that I love with all of you. I asked creator friends if they would share some stories of presents that meant a lot to them. Here is a story from my friend Dami.
One that sticks out the most, the one that's definitely like top notch, was my keyboard, my, musical keyboard that I got when I was 10 probably. So I've had it for over 15 years now. And it's just it's gone everywhere with me. Music was just always a big part of my life, and at that point I didn't even know how to play piano, but my parents knew I liked to write songs, so they got me a keyboard. It's one of those things that I honestly almost completely forgot that it was a birthday present. It just always felt like a part of me, like it was something that was always there. And if there was a fire in my building, that's the one thing I would take with me. Drop everything else, I'm grabbing my keyboard and go running. It meant a lot to me at the time, because it meant that at the time when I wanted to win American Idol, it meant that I was being supported. It was important later because when I did start learning piano, having a piano was helpful. That's a little more logical. Later, when I started actually writing more music, it was there. It's just always been a part of my journey a little bit. It's almost like an extension of my arm. Like at this point, I know how to use it. I know where to go to get to what I want to do. I use it just to mess around. I use it for work. I use it for fun. In any school project I ever did, when we got to actually do something creative and figure out okay, so how do you want to present this to the class? I'd always use the keyboard somehow. I brought my keyboard to school to participate in a group project with us. I did that. That happened. It's just always been there, and I guess that's really why it matters to me now. Having that keyboard is just something that I will always hopefully have, and if it ever breaks, I'm gonna be really sad, so I hope it doesn't break. Oof. I'm almost about to cry just because I think about just how much I've gone through with that thing.
Here's a story from my friend Desiree.
I was born on May 23rd, 1985, and when I turned 5 years old, my parents took me to Disneyland. Now, we lived in Los Angeles, so it wasn't a whole extra thing, but there is a photo I always remember and I always turn to of me and my dad sitting in Dumbo for my 5th birthday, and it's just such a iconic thing for my family. It's a big defining part of my life. It's when I fell in love with Disney. I became a lifer, and it was this whole thing. And then you fast forward a little bit, there's actually a picture of my little sister when she turned 5, a picture with my dad who was in Dumbo. So the best birthday gift that I ever got, or I guess I could ever give, is I took my 5-year-old son to Disneyland, and we took my dad with us, and he got to take a picture with his grandson in Dumbo. So now I have 3 photos, and it's this sort of time capsule, really unique thing. And I can't wait to do it again with my daughter when she turns 5. Now, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, might have to wait a little bit, but that photo is so totally happening of my dad in Dumbo with my daughter, so that we can complete the cycle. One of my favorite memories, one of my favorite things about my childhood is the love of Disney, and how my dad was just always there to push me to do new adventures, try new things, and never settle for anything less than my best.
And here is a story from my friend Shelly.
One of my favourite ones. Most of them have usually been food. However, this one is probably one of my favourites. It's a crystal orchid from Swarovski. Got it for my 21st birthday, I thing? I'd have to confirm with my mum. I saw it in the shop and she bought it for me. I thought it was going to be too expensive for her, but she bought it anyway. She's a silly. Also, I have these, and that is a matching accoutrement. Can't remember what birthday that was though. Like jewelry, crystal stuff, because that's the stuff that has the most sentimental value and the stuff that I can keep forever.
The whole point of birthdays and celebrations is how it feels as a person to be changing, having another year pass, acknowledging that you have people in your life that support you and who bring you up. I wanted to bring and welcome all of you into this birthday celebration, whether it's your birthday, your unbirthday, or if you're just a person who's in need of a general celebration, which probably means it's also your own birthday, but like, no joke. Somehow, amid the madness of quarantine, I found a birthday that has been better than many of the birthdays I had prior to this, because I reached out into the world and said, what could I do to continue to be connected to people, continue to be connected to businesses and stories that I think are important, to come back to all of you in this community. And I'm so excited to be back making YouTube videos here. Look forward to more of them very soon, Rockstars. And you can celebrate more of the internet magic in either of these places. It's a choose your own adventure.
Bye!